What counts as a dark romance? My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. This question came in on my Patreon, where I allow patrons at the top tier to suggest videos that they want to see made, and I've been chewing on this one for a long time for a couple of reasons. So the question specifically asked about grisly scenes that had nothing to do with the romance itself. Can those be in a romance novel? And the answer is yes. So, like, a romantic suspense is a romance subgenre, but they're often quite grisly, they're often quite dark. But the darkness and the violence is not between the love interest and the main protagonist. What's the threshold for violence and gruesome stuff here? I don't know. I don't tend to love violence associated with my romance, and domestic suspense is not my favorite subgenre. But there are definitely books that are pretty grisly, in which her husband was murdered in a very grisly scene and then she falls in love with the detective afterwards, right? Like, there can be some grisly stuff in a romance. Is that going to reach the broadest audience possible? Maybe not. Maybe you're writing this book because you really love the story and you really love these characters and you don't actually care all that much about reaching the broadest audience possible. And so you need to write the book that lights your heart on fire and keeps you excited about writing. Dark romance is a romance in which the romance itself is dark. Sometimes it is taboo, sometimes it is violent, sometimes it is just full of things that make some people really uncomfortable. I'm trying to describe things in a way that doesn't get this video like demonetized and shadow banned and stuff. I think you can just sort of like assume what it is I'm talking about here. I also know that the dark romance girlies are gonna say that I'm wrong, because there's always somebody in that community who thinks that somebody is wrong about what they are saying, because there are some very narrow, very niche spaces within that particular readership, and a lot of times they don't think that the other stuff counts. But dark romance is where the romance itself has a dark component to it, something that does not appeal to the mass audience. And I know, there's a lot of you out there who are reading these books, but you know that you know. So to sum up this very rambly video here, can we have dark and grisly elements in a romance? Yes. Is it going to appeal to the widespread mainstream romance audience? Probably not. Does that need to matter to you? Also probably not. Does that make it necessarily a dark romance? No. Dark romance is when the romance between the two people or three people or whatever we are doing there, that piece has something dark and uncomfy about it.